Welcome back to another Pitwall chat. How, where do we start with this race?
Well, first of all, how would you rate it? From 1 being like Abu Dhabi last year, and 10 being Monza on steroids.
Probably, like,
15.
yeah, results-wise, I would rate it a 15, because I like the podium better this time than last time, but it's definitely one for the history books. Like,
At least in our like F1 history books.
Yeah, well, against in Monza, it was like fighting for first. Here, first was sort of like locked up. It was second, third, and fourth, fifth.
Hamilton though.
Yeah, I guess we can. That's a good way to a good place to start. Really, like what a championship mindset of Hamilton.
Yeah.
To get stuck in the gravel for like 2 minutes and then only fall back to seventh, and then colossal. What's the word? Drive.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how you see the difference between Bottas and Hamilton, even though they have the same car. Like Bottas was stuck. He started 8th, and then I think when he DNF'd, he was like 9th or 10th. Like he was.
Yeah, I think Russell was overtaking him for 9th.
Yeah, so they were in the points at least, but that's how you see the difference, because Bottas was stuck basically at the place where Hamilton started again after the restart, and Bottas could not get through. Well, we didn't know, but maybe he had an issue with the car. That's what they always say, but I also think it's about the mindset, because Bottas is like, 8th, 9th, who cares? I'm just going to do my thing and whatever. Was
Hamilton is like every point counts.
Yeah.
And it really shows that he learned his lesson from the years with Nico Rosberg, where he lost out with a couple of points. I think that might be the place where it's coming from, where he's
every point counts.
Every point counts, and also when it's his mistake, I feel like he kind of owes the team. He feels probably that he owes the team to do his best to get back.
Yeah, but he also had a 4-second pit stop. He would have been ahead of Verstappen without the long, like the slow pit stop.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So.
But anyway, I'm mighty impressed. I think a lot of people are proven wrong with Lewis here.
Yeah, well, because he doesn't have the best car, and he still won last time. He's second now, fastest lap. I am also very impressed with Norris. It was just hilarious how he was holding off Lewis for like 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, I thought it was fun with the commentators, like, this time around, or this time around, maybe Lewis is close enough. No, not this time either. Like, I don't know, 10 laps in a row. And then it's like the final 3 laps, basically, where he actually were able to overtake him. But yeah, this has just been Lando's weekend.
Well, it's been his season, because he finished 4th last weekend.
Oh yeah, he did.
And well, last weekend was a bit tougher for McLaren, because the 2 Mercedes were up there, and then Max. So that's already the podium. So 4th was really the best he could do. And now this weekend Bottas freed up a space and Norris took it.
Yeah, Perez as well dropped down. He was like a clear 3rd place.
Not 3rd.
No, but like if he was up there, like the way he qualified, he was on the front row, and with the Mercedes gone, you would automatically think, well, with Perez up qualifying 2nd, he would have been like the clear candidate for 2nd, 3rd, 1st, like top 3.
Yeah, on the podium.
But he then fell down as well, which again opened up another easy. Not easy, but
maybe he's not super confident in the car when it comes to restarts, because he lost a place to Leclerc in the first start, and then during the restart he didn't do that well. Like, I think he fell back pretty quickly after the restart. So.
Well, I think it's like yesterday he qualified on softs all 3, because he wanted that consistency to see how the car does in the different modes. I think it's the same like now. Like, he didn't have the grip or like the balance or whatever, the confidence in the car on the intermediates, and probably in the slick weather. What the fuck am I saying?
I don't know. We can talk about the weather if you want.
When the slicks came on, and in damp weather, then he didn't have the confidence either, and he sort of tried some a bit like desperate overtakes here and there on after he fell back. So yeah, it seems like it was a very up and down race for Sergio today, I feel.
Well, Imola is a tough circuit, apparently, especially when you're not confident in your car. And then weather on top of that, which had a few people spin around during the race. So maybe it wasn't the best weekend for someone in their new team. Although saying that, Sainz finished 5th and Ricciardo finished 6th. But I guess they have less pressure to be on the podium already, whereas I would imagine they're a bit stricter with Sergio.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's done better than Albon and Pierre did in a qualifying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And last race he did well. He didn't qualify well, but he's probably gonna get not as long as Ricciardo and Sainz will get to get comfortable in the car, but which is probably why we see him being so aggressive and like going for the risks. Like he has nothing to lose, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah,
I was so excited about the rain, not gonna lie, because I feel like whenever the weather forecast says it might rain during the weekend, last year, so many times they were like, oh, it might rain, and then it was as dry as the Sahara.
Yeah, it was a perfect hole in the sky around the track. It's like it would rain exactly outside the perimeters and not on the track. It was ridiculous last year.
So I was quite surprised. Like I was fully ready for it to be completely dry because that's how it always goes. But pretty wet.
Pretty wet.
So
yeah, I was very excited. But I think this would have been a great race no matter what. But this definitely added another layer to it, which is fun.
So good. I love it because starting the race you don't know who's gonna win. Quickly became a bit clearer that Max had the lead, but I don't know. It's pretty fun going into a weekend without expecting Ham, Butt, and Ver on the podium.
It really is. It's quite refreshing. Now it's a bit more. We're not just looking at the race like can the order change up a bit? Like will Max be able to get between the two?
So exciting.
Now it's actually like who's going to be on the podium, who's going to qualify on the top three.
And the championship has never been this close.
No.
Like 44 points for Lewis and 43 for Max.
Yeah.
It's like exciting stuff. And like the season, especially it's a really long one, so
that's a good start.
Yep.
At least
you don't know
like
how it's
Mercedes
gonna go.
Mercedes isn't running off with the lead after the first race or the first two races yet.
Although like how Lewis managed to go through the field, like it's a mighty car. So it's like how when I don't know, like how can he not lead the car the race when he's able to overtake like 10 cars?
Yeah, well, Toto said in the interviews afterwards, like they clearly had the fastest car today, it seemed. But I would say maybe the Red Bull. Maybe the Red Bull was probably be the fastest on just pure slicks today, but it seemed like the Mercedes they had pace today.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun to see in Portugal, which is the next race in forever.
No,
only 2 weeks.
But yeah, so that's sort of like the fight between Red Bull and Mercedes. But another interesting team fight is the one between McLaren and Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ferrari is doing a 180 from last year.
Yeah, they didn't. We said it after last race. They've definitely made improvements. They're up there fighting. Sainz is fairly up to speed, like finishing just behind Charles.
Not by far.
No, just like 2 seconds.
Not even 150, 1.5. So
yeah, fairly good result for them. I'm sure Charles would. We were a bit worried when McLaren went out with softs.
Well, no, we understood the strategy that they wanted to get ahead of Charles pretty quickly, so because the overtake is so hard in Imola. But at the same time, we're worried because we're lucky. I don't know if you noticed, we're rooting for our boy Norris.
Yeah, well, I feel we understood a bit of the strategy, not the whole thing, because they're talking about it afterwards on the report or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That okay, they wanted to go with slicks and get that head start, and when Leclerc would be able to come into range of overtaking later in the race, he would have to do the dirty work. And if they can just hold back a few laps, then he's gonna grain his tires.
Because it's so hard to overtake in Imola that it's
better.
Easier to hold off.
Yeah, so it was like they bet basically that it would be too hard for the Ferrari to catch up with them, and they were kind of right. They were helped a bit with Hamilton going in between, but yeah, it was a good battle for a while.
I don't know, to be honest. I think I'm not sure it was the best strategy to keep Lewis behind Norris, because he probably used a bit more tire than he would have if he let Hamilton pass straight away, and then he can focus on tire management. Because whenever he would hold off Lewis behind him, then that's a bit maybe getting out of the line or whatever, a bit more pressure on the tires, and that's time Charles can make up.
Yeah, but I feel like he was like Imola is so hard to overtake, so it's basically only one place where they could do it, and Hamilton was close enough for DRS but not close enough to overtake, and Norris just put the car in the middle. So it's quite smart in that sense of not trying to fight back on positions and stuff like that. He just put it in the middle. Hamilton couldn't get through, and in that sense he had saved his tires and also hold the position for another lap.
Right, next team. Aston Martin.
Another disappointment. Well, Lance did okay. 7th.
Yeah, they had brakes issues, so didn't look too bright in the beginning, but Lance got a few points, which is always good, 6 points. It's pretty... Yeah.
I'm super disappointed with Aston. Reliability is just not there. The brakes is on fire before the formation lap. They retire Vettel. Who knows if that is just... it's it's enough. We might as well save the car at some point. Stroll doing okay, but they're not nearly as fast as they were last year or as competitive.
Probably know why.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a shame.
I'm just, still hoping for Vettel, but with every race I'm a bit more, does he still have it? But we talked about it last time anyways.
Yeah.
I just hope he surprises us at this point, because by now it's a surprise if he does well.
Yeah, well, Vettel should be... Well, he should be, coming in 10th, 9th-ish. If we see, or even just, 8th. Just be, a position or two behind his teammate at the moment, because that's what we're seeing with the other ones. Carlos is a position behind Leclerc.
Yeah, straight away.
Ricardo is a couple of positions behind Lando.
And then it's the rookies, but that's nothing you can...
Yeah, so we would like to see Vettel finishing in the points. At least that would show that, he's getting more to grips with the car. But, we never got to see it today. DNF didn't look like he was going to get the points anyways.
One thing that's always insane is Kimi and Giovinazzi. Because Kimi is 20 years into his career, and he still finishes 9th with a subpar car, and Giovinazzi 14th.
Yeah.
Why? It's supposed to be the other way around by now. Antonio, I think it's his 3rd season.
Yeah.
So he should be confident in the car, up to speed, and yet...
It seems more like a placeholder until they get rookies into the car. I don't see the strategy of Ferrari with their junior drivers.
Yeah, I don't know why Giovinazzi is there.
Yeah, why not put in another Ferrari junior driver with Alfa Romeo?
Well, to be fair, Giovinazzi is the only Italian driver currently on the grid, so maybe Ferrari and...
I think that's what they hoped, but...
hoped, but maybe they have Italian sponsors, It's like Mick, that onboarded German sponsors for Haas, then maybe the Ferrari Academy has a bit of an Italian sponsor.
Yeah, it could be, but then even then it's I would not keep the same lineup. Then I would as much as I like Kimi, he's there as a hobby. He says it's a hobby for him, and he would probably be happy to be out. But then it would have made more sense to pair Giovinazzi, which have 2 seasons with Kimi or something, with their rookie, and they could learn a little bit from Giovinazzi.
Yeah,
instead.
but why learn from Giovinazzi, who finished 14th, when you can learn from Kimi, who has 20 years of experience and finished 9th?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make sense to keep them both.
Yeah,
like,
no, I know.
I would much rather put in a junior with Kimi, but if it's the thing like Italian sponsors with Giovinazzi, then at least put a rookie in with Giovinazzi, then you keep the sponsor and you get a rookie with a bit more experience.
I guess. But maybe they want to keep Kimi because it still makes the points.
Maybe.
But then you don't move forward, really.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just waiting for
Maybe
next
they're
year.
just like in a limbo until the new regulations.
I think that's the case for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Ocon and Alonso still going by the rule that the new teammate is right behind the old one.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a improvement from Esteban's side from last race, I think. I'm not sure where he finished. I don't think he got any points.
No, I don't think I even.
Fernando retired last race, so improvement from him. But so yeah.
I mean, he was off. Like he wasn't in a Formula car for a few years,
true.
So I mean, fair, good for him, because his car is supposed to be worse than an Aston Martin, and yet he finishes before him, whereas Vettel hasn't been retired twice.
Yeah, it's a shame, and again, I can't praise Ricciardo enough for taking that choice, because I was a bit unsure, because Renault started to look a bit like they got a few podiums with Ricciardo and even with Ocon.
But you knew.
But Cyril was like, oh, you don't even know what we have in the pipeline. We haven't been able to show it. And then it was a bit like, well, they got a few podiums, and you were a bit like, oh, maybe they are on the way, but clearly not. They're going backwards again.
For sure. Well, one other drama of the race is, a little Russell and a little Bottas, a little fight.
Yeah.
It was a bit tense afterwards when Russell is like, oh, he's gonna see if he's okay, and then they just shout at each other and
flipped the finger or flipped his opinion, as they said, which is kind of genius. Understandable that they're a bit hard on each other.
Yeah.
When I saw the clip, I was like, in my eyes, it's not really Bottas' fault.
Well, they seem to agree that it would be like 40% Bottas and 60% Russell's fault.
Which basically would go like it's a racing incident in that sense. Like, you would try to defend in some way.
Like, it's a racing incident, but with the added layer of next year's it. So I think it's just gonna go worse and worse from here.
But it is like a place for Russell to be like Mercedes. They want people like another driver that is like calm and collected, respects like the team's decisions and stuff like that. Yeah, but
I don't know, because that's what they have with Bottas, and it's not working. So I'm thinking they might be looking for something else.
Yeah, but I still think they want the harmony in the team. They want a driver that can drive faster.
Well, they don't want.
I'm not saying that they're gonna keep Bottas.
They don't want a Rosberg, but I think they're trying to get away from Bottas.
No, the thing is, I think they want an aggressive driver, but they still want the harmony in the team. I don't think if George is slashing out or stuff at Bottas, or like it's completely his fault or whatever. Like, it's a good opportunity again for Russell to show maturity for Mercedes, to a bit like own up that it was probably a two-way street, that it's both of their fault.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna regret like that lashing out that he did, because I think Mercedes would like that harmony, even though they want more racing.
Calm and collected.
Yeah.
Racy driver.
So that being said, I don't think they're gonna keep Bottas for next year, but as Toto said, like if George does well, he can have a Mercedes seat, but if he doesn't do well, then he has to show that he has those capabilities of being in the team and taking ownership of his own mistakes, which he has done previously.
Yes, I think it's just extra hard when Williams was doing so good this weekend, and then they clearly had a great opportunity to get in the points.
Yeah, but I don't buy his argument like, well, a ninth to him doesn't matter at all, but to Williams it's all in the world. Like, that's not how sports work. Like,
No, no,
it's
no.
a bad argument. So
No, but that's why I think he was more aggressive than he would have been otherwise. I think it's like the fact that it means so much to the team, and also that he wants to sit. But to be honest, like, do you think there's a possibility that Mercedes next year was like would be like, well, we're keeping Lewis, oh boy, you know, but Bottas is not a good fit. It's just each year is further and further and further away from Lewis. So I think next year he gets sacked. But if Russell isn't exactly the calm and collected driver that they're looking for, who is it gonna be?
Then I think they're gonna keep with Bottas.
No, I doubt it.
Who else are they gonna take?
That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna choose anyone else. Like,
well, Ocon is technically
yeah,
managed
because he's
by.
doing so well at Alpine's. Like, he's not shown that spirit. Like, he's not shown the pace or the.
It might get better, and because it's only his second year with the car.
Yeah,
so,
true. But
like, if it's not Bottas and it's not Russell, it might be Ocon, you know, or Pierre, maybe Pierre, because he's doing well.
no, I think they will probably get Nico Hulkenberg.
Sure.
That was their second choice instead of
Yeah,
if
but
Lewis
like
didn't sign.
7-8 years ago.
Yeah, but like
it's like he's been retired for 2 years. They're not gonna look at the past to choose their future. That doesn't make sense.
no, but I don't think like choosing Ocon would be a great choice for the future either.
Well, I guess it depends on the season, but I think Pierre might be.
No, I don't think so. But maybe not to talk too much more on this subject because we don't know what they're thinking. But I think George takes the seat next year. If they don't take the seats, then they're probably gonna go with Bottas still.
Doubt it. I think the best candidate is still Russell, but he has to prove he's worthy, and if not, then it's someone else entirely. I think, like, Bottas is just. He says it's always gonna be next year, like. It's like, next year I'll get you, next year I'll get you, and it's just worse and worse.
Well, he improves every season. He's just not putting it together.
It's like, how does he improve? It's always less points.
How far off qualifying last year was he? Like, that's what he focused on last year.
Yeah, but each season he has less points, so you can't say that he's improving.
Does he?
Yeah, the closest he was to Lewis in the championship was his first season in Mercedes.
No, he's fifth.
First?
No.
First. I swear, they said it.
No, I'm pretty sure that he was fifth his first year with Mercedes.
He didn't win the championship. I said that his first season was the closest he ever was to Lewis. Points was.
Right, but then he was fifth in the championship.
That, I don't, probably. There was Ferrari in
Okay,
the
so
fight.
then it was more fighting in the top 10 between Seb or...
Yeah, probably. But that's just the closest in points.
Yeah.
So when you know that, it's just, there's no way they're going with Bottas next year. Anyways.
I think they're going with George. I think like it's a small incident, but again, he has to show that he can handle this.
Yeah, like I think he's still the best candidate. It's just he has to prove his point.
I just don't see how any other driver makes any sense for Mercedes to, like Ocon. They are his manager, but he's just not showing it really easy.
I guess. Well, it all depends.
It all depends, but so far, if you were to take on the results so far.
Oh yeah, I would still do Russell, but you know. And how about if you're taking the results so far? Who do you think is going to win this season?
Max. Still Max. I think this is his season.
You think or you hope?
I think.
And you hope.
And I hope, but I also think.
I'll still bet on Lewis.
Yeah, it's a good bet, but.
No, Norris.
I think Norris third. No, we'll see. We're still only 2 races in. Like, we still have over a full season from, like, more races than we had all of last season left. Yeah. So
a lot can happen.
A lot can happen.
But it's very exciting that it's just 1 point.
Yeah.
In the championship.
Oh well, I think that's a good place to stop.
Can't wait for Portugal.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. So next week we'll talk about something else than a race. But it will be F1 related, don't you worry.
Always, maybe more on the gossips.
Probably.
Alright, have a great Sunday, enjoy your week, and see you next Sunday.
Ciao.